situation, depending upon the circumstances, you behave differently. So don't, when you are doing the exercise over here, don't get fixated कि नहीं मैं ऐसा ही हूँ. That's not going to help you over here. I'll give you a very nice perspective, and I want you to go back to your childhood. जितना आप जा सकते हो, whatever your memory takes behind. And can you see that your money behavior did not begin in adulthood? Yes or no? It actually started way before you started to earn money. And we touched upon it a little bit yesterday, but we'll go deeper into this particular aspect today. That money memories from childhood often became adult money reactions. कि वो बचपन की जो मेमोरी आपने थी, आपने देखा जो सिचुएशन थी घर में, मे बी इन योर एनवायरमेंट, जो मोहल्ले में, एंड दैट एक्चुअली नाउ इज कमिंग एज अ रिएक्शन in the outside world. Even if you're grown up, maybe you've got kids and you've got responsibilities, who's with me on this key, वो एक reaction pattern बन गई है because of that old memories in the childhood. So even before you started to earn money, it all goes behind it. How many of you agree that this is a very important topic which you got to understand and heal and go to the roots of it if you really want to enjoy money in your life? And if you don't do this, then look at from this perspective. How many of you used to play some sport when you were a kid, maybe you're a teenager, or maybe even from a toddler's point of view, कि कुछ आप खेलते थे? Maybe उस समय तो we were not so much on indoor games, right? Not so much on PS5. My kids like PS5 and a lot of indoor things over there on the internet or on the phone. But हमारे पास तो इतने कुछ gizmos नहीं होते थे. Maximum video games होती थी हमारे पास. And now, I mean, we could go out and play in the garden or on the cricket ground में खेलो. I was coming back from school का यूनिफॉर्म बदला नहीं, immediately बैट हाथ में. How many of you are remembering maybe playing in the garden and maybe getting hurt sometimes? How many of you have got your knees bruised? यानी मुझे यहाँ पे भी लगा है and knees में भी लगा है, और रोज कुछ ना कुछ बैंडेड लगती थी. yes or no? बचपन की यादें आ रही है. yeah. एंड मम्मी बोलती थी क्यों ऐसे खेलते हो, संभाल के खेलो, लग जाएगी. एंड एवरी डे, हाँ मम्मी कल से संभालूंगा, कल से संभालूंगा, कल से मैं नहीं करूंगा. बट अगेन द सेम ओल्ड रूटीन. रोज मम्मी की डांट, बट वापस से फिर खेलना, और खेलना फिर गिरना, गिर के फिर संभलने के फिर वापस से बैंडेड लगाना. दैट्स द साइकिल. yes or no? Maximum wounds, right? And some tears of joy come in when I see my childhood, where exactly how I used to be so naughty and notorious, but उसी में मजा थी. And some wounds are there. I remember I got a big stitch over here about, मेरे आँख को भी लग गया था, 6 स्टिचेस आए थे, खून बह रहा था. I went to the doctor without going to the home. मैंने बोला मम्मी आप क्या करेंगे, मुझे मार लगी है ना, तो मुझे डॉक्टर के पास आना पड़ेगा. मम्मी वैसे मुझे तो बोलो. And I ran to the doctor, and some wounds are there, some stitches are there. How many of you have got some wounds or some stitches on your body of your childhood? But do you agree that these are actually healed? Heal तो हो गए ना, फिजिकल वुंड्स तो हील हो गए ना, स्टिचेस निकल गए, और अभी वो जो जख्म जो है वो नहीं है अभी, राइट? बट हाउ अबाउट योर मनी वुंड्स, द वुंड्स विच यू हैड गॉट फ्रॉम योर चाइल्डहुड? जब भी पॉकेट मनी कम पड़ रही थी, मे बी किसी दोस्त ने शायद से पैसा आपका दिया, फिर आप उसको दे नहीं पाए, और मे बी उसने आपको इंसल्ट किया सबके सामने. मे बी वो घर में झगड़ा हुआ कि पैसों के बारे में, मे बी घर पे कोई पैसे मांगने आया, मे बी किसी ने पैसे के लिए फोन किया, मे बी किसी ने बैंक ने आके कुछ सील लगा दी घर पे, मेरी गाड़ी मॉर्गेज की थी वो भी लेके गए. हम नहीं फिक्री के ये भी आपने शायद से देखा होगा, some wounds in the past. Yes or no? I remember when I was in 10th standard and Gulf War happened. Gulf War happened, not this war by the way, the first Saddam Hussein war. Okay, and oil prices jacked up, and my papa had a manufacturing plant, and plant बंद हो गया because oil ही नहीं था तभी मिलने के लिए. Furnace could not run, and my 10th standard was going on. I always used to go to factory with lot of noise. आवाज आ रहा था, music चल रहा था, and music is the noise, the machine noise is actually music for them because वो पैसा, मशीन चल रही है तो पैसा आ रहा है. 10th standard में जब भी मैं पढ़ रहा था स्कूल में, and factory was very close to my school, so I used to go to school for lunch. Pitch dark. एक दिन तो लाइट ही नहीं थी. फिर मालूम पड़ा कि लाइट ही है ही नहीं, लाइट का पैसा ही नहीं भरा है. Some wounds were there in the past. How many of you can connect with all these issues? Maybe if not in your own life, but something which has happened in the past, yes or no? I love my dad. He gave me whatever he wanted to give me. He gave me the best of the best education. But there were tough times, and he had gone through a tough time, and I was experiencing, I was seeing that when I was a child, right? Yeah, Ritesh, got it. So ये जो wounds बन जाते हैं, इसको हम money wound बोलते हैं. How many of you are with me on this? You understood the context of the money wound. Money wounds are emotional scars formed in childhood. They silently shape your financial behavior, your self worth and confidence, and adult money decisions. और शायद से जब तक वो क्रैक्स आपको दिखाई दे रहे हैं ना, जब तक ये वूंड्स आप जख्म बराबर से मलहम नहीं लगाएंगे, तो जिंदगी भर वो क्रैक्स रहेंगे. Throughout your life, these wounds will be there. Open wounds are there, and they are like really like एटम बॉम्ब की तरह आपके साथ में हर दिन हमेशा साथ में जा रहे हैं. आपके बैंक में जाते हैं, आपके जॉब के आपके साथ में जाते हैं, आपके परिवार के साथ में जाते हैं, आप रेस्टोरेंट में जाते हो तभी जाते हैं, आप पार्टी में जाते हो तभी वो जख्म ओपन वुंड्स आर गोइंग. Do you agree that we need to do something about our wounds? Yes or no? Come on, guys. Actually, with me on this. So we'll see about how to get these wounds aligned. First, understand what are types of wounds. There are four different common wounds. So write this down, and you can categorize yourself कि आपकी wound की क्या characteristics है. There are four types of wounds over here. The first wound which we have is called as a scarcity wound. Write this down. The scarcity wound is saying that there is never enough. How many of you have gone through that phase of your life in childhood के रेस्टोरेंट में जाओ तो लिमिटेड चीज मंगाओ, पैसा स्केयर है तो राइट हैंड साइड का आपने देखा कि क्या प्राइसिंग है, बेस्ड ऑन दैट इतना ही मंगाते हैं. डेजर्ट शेयर करेंगे, मे बी बस इतना, यहाँ डेजर्ट नहीं खाएंगे, मे बी नॉट दैट रेस्टोरेंट, देयर सम स्केयरसिटी. एंड यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट्स अ स्केयरसिटी वुंड? यस और नो? क्लियर? सो टाइप 1 कि ये भी आपने एक्सपीरियंस किया होगा, स्केयरसिटी वुंड. Then we've got a second type of a wound, which is what we call as a shame wound. What does the shame wound mean? Money which makes me bad or dirty. शायद से ऐसी कुछ सिचुएशन आ गई होगी कि पैसा नहीं है, उस वजह से किसी ने आपको इंसल्ट किया, मे बी आपने टाइम पे अपना कमिटमेंट नहीं रखा, and you got in that zone of shame and bad words, and that's a shame wound. Shame is a very negative vibration. Money, love frequency, gratitude is a very high frequency of vibration. Shame is a very negative vibration. और जब तक ये wound heal नहीं होगा, तब तक आप कितना भी हसल कर लो, कितनी भी AI कोर्सेज कर लो, कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला. Type 2, if you got the second type of a wound which needs to be healed, the shame wound. The third type of a wound is a chaos wound. What do you mean by chaos? Money is unpredictable and unsafe. I remember when I was a kid, Papa had all imported cars, Dolphin, Mazda, and at school I was feeling a little bit embarrassed कि यार पापा थोड़ा दूर रखना गाड़ी, ताकि मैं पहले उतर जाऊं. पापा मुझे रोज ड्रॉप करने आते थे स्कूल, कि मेरे फ्रेंड्स बोलेंगे यार ये इंपोर्टेड गाड़ी में आता है, अपने आप को क्या समझता है. आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू बी हैविंग गुड फ्रेंडशिप विद देम, एंड आई डोंट वांट टू फील आई एम शोइंग ऑफ. This is before the Gulf War, so we had that kind of a surplus money. We were staying with an environment where we had imported cars at that time. Mazda and Dolphin were the only cars which India made was Fiat cars. And then Maruti got launched. How many of you remember that? Some people would be aware of these. Come on, guys. Ambassador and Fiat type. Yes, क्या आपको कुछ तो याद है? ऐसे वैसा कोई जमाना इंडिया में होता था पहले. Yeah. So we had that kind of a Mazda and Dolphin. And अचानक से गाड़ी नहीं थी हमारे पास. I was living in a posh kind of a house in Juhu where there was no car. यार ये कैसे हो गया यार? एक बार मैं ऐसे गुजरा हूं कि यार मुझे दूर रखो, मुझे वो इंपोर्टेड कार्स में नहीं जाना है, एंड नाउ आई डोंट हैव अ कार, लिविंग इन अ पॉश लोकेलिटी इन जू. That was like a chaos. That's a chaos kind of a wound. How many of you are with me on this? You understood that आपकी भी जिंदगी में कभी पैसा बहुत है, कभी पैसा बिल्कुल नहीं है. It's a chaos wound. So type 3, if you got this kind of a this kind of a wound, also you understood this. And the fourth wound which is there is called as the trust wound. People or systems always take money away. How many of you have got this kind of an experience के यार इन पे मेरे दोस्त पे विश्वास किया, maybe not you personally but maybe your family members, your brother, your uncle, or maybe your father's partner in the business loss हो गया, किसी ने कुछ losses कर लिए, maybe betray कर दिया, disloyalty, and because of that you have this one, अभी मैं किसी पे पैसा एक पैसे का विश्वास नहीं करूंगा. All bankers are like that. All credit card companies are like that. Or you cannot have a partnership with your brother में कभी partnership नहीं रखनी, etc., etc. So how many of you got that fourth wound, trust wound? So type 4 in the comment box. So that's the fourth category of wound. Clear on this, everyone? Yes or no? And do you agree that इस पे हमें काम करना पड़ेगा? काम करना पड़ेगा. Otherwise, physical wounds are healed, but maybe if you don't heal your money wounds, that's the problem. I'll give you a 4-step process कि कहाँ पे आपकी destiny connect होती है. So write this down. This is how your money destiny is formed. There are 4 steps to this. अगर wounds है और अगर wounds खुले रह गए, these money wounds will actually create as money patterns. I can never trust this. Money is always scarce. It's a zero-sum game. I have to make that other person lose money, only then I can benefit money. वो pattern बन जाएगी. And based on that pattern, you start to form decisions in life. Big important decisions are based on those money patterns. It all started from the wounds. And because of those decisions, your destiny is created. Because your decisions create your destiny. Clear cut alignment है आपकी wound से destiny का. तो जो भी आपकी डेस्टिनी पैसों के बारे में है, इट इज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ अ पैटर्न विच इज कनेक्टेड टू योर मनी वूंड. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू सीइंग अ क्लियर कट पाथ ओवर हियर कि इट इज नॉट रॉकेट साइंस टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस टाइप? यस, के समझ में आ रही चीज? गॉट इट? सो दिस इज वन एंगल अबाउट योर मनी वूंड्स. नाउ लेट्स लुक एट, इफ यू लुक एट योर आइडेंटिटी.
Now open you rise up, reach it out.
Energy. Yes, 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 yes.
Frozen in the dark, but I am not afraid. No, I am not afraid.
And stop over here. All right, let's go to the next stage. Okay, the first one, the first personality which we have got is called as the saver personality. Write this down. The saver personality. Now, what does a saver do? पैसे गिनेंगे, एक एक रुपये का हिसाब रखेंगे, डिसिप्लिन होते हैं, वेरी कॉशियस, दे आर प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर एनी काइंड ऑफ एन अर्जेंसी बिकॉज कैश उनके पास होता है. लेकिन वीकनेस क्या है? पैसा नहीं, आई विल नॉट स्पेंड, नो 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 नो, ओवर कंट्रोल एवरीथिंग एंड दे डिले देयर एंजॉयमेंट. How many of you are seeing that you have seen people around you that conjuice, that stingy friend of yours? I'll give an example also. I respect this particular gentleman, but this is an example for just to get you connected to this. I really admire. He's a legend over here, but he's got this personality over here. The savers in the world are those people who are like, let's say, like Warren Buffett, the legend Warren Buffett. I'll give you the context why I'm using this over here because I really admire this person of his discipline over here. But his pattern is that he's staying in the same house which he bought in 1958. Very frugal and extraordinary accumulation. Who's with me on this? Type WB if you understood the example of Warren Buffett over here. Or maybe even let's say in India, Radhakrishnan Damani ji. I really admire that particular person. I'm not bad mouthing him, but just an example for you to get to the clarity for this. DMart founder, known for extreme simplicity, minimal kind of spends, etc. Lifestyle बहुत basic है, relentless kind of reinvestment. Even Narayan Murthy ji, for that matter. These are all savers of the world, and these are good to have. It's not that it's a bad thing. These references are just for your reference, for your understanding purpose. So type 1 if you are clear with the first personality. Clear? So you don't need to look at yourself right now. I'll give you an exercise also to do this. Okay, so just understand the personalities over here, and we'll see आपकी कौन सी personality है और कैसे आप उसको change कर सकते हो. Then we have got something what we call as the spender. So write this down. The second type of personality is called as the spender personality. Now these spenders are always for splurging. They feel alive when they spend. Strengths are they are generous, expressive, enthusiastic. Weakness क्या है? Impulsive, impulse buying, emotional reactions. They cannot keep their money in. How many of you have got at least one friend of yours who अगर उसके पास पैसे गए और one family member खत्म पूरा पॉकेट एम्प्टी करके बैंक अकाउंट खाली करके आएंगे? Anybody knows this kind of a person? Type 2 in the comment box. बहुत मिलेंगे आपको, बहुत मिलेंगे आपको. Okay, so that's the kind of a spender personality. I'll give you one example also to understand this. We've got this famous personality of Mike Tyson. How many of you are aware of Mike Tyson's splurging on the Bengal tigers, gold tub, and watches and mansions? And it's like splurging. Bankruptcy हो गई फिर भी वो हैबिट जाती नहीं है. Always as a identity which is the indifferent identity. बस मेरा काम, मेरा मिशन, मेरा पर्पस, पैसा मुझे पता नहीं क्या होता है. स्ट्रेंथ दे आर मिशन ड्रिवन, दे आर डिटैच फ्रॉम ग्रीड. लालच नहीं है उनको. लेकिन वीकनेस क्या है? पुअर फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग, निग्लेक्ट एंड अवॉइडेंस. एंड दीज पीपल समटाइम्स वंडर एंड वरी कि मैं इतना मेहनत करता हूं, पैसा जाता कहां पे है? Maybe there is some coup happening in the company, some embezzlement happens in the company, किसी ने कुछ कर दिया, स्कैम कर दिया, and then they come to know यार क्या हो गया कंपनी में, because कभी फाइनेंसिस पे ध्यान नहीं दिया. पैसा इंडिफरेंट, पैसा इज अ बाय प्रोडक्ट. बस मुझे से मेरा मिशन, मेरा काम, मेरा मिशन, मेरा काम. How many of you are getting this करके ये भी आपको समझ में आ रही चीज? टाइप yes in the comment box. I'll give you some examples also where people could have earned tons of money, but they didn't because they didn't have that focus on earning money. They were just driven by their mission. They were just driven by their purpose. And that's where we have got maybe the legend APJ Abdul Kalam Saab. But that's my mission. The space, that's it, my mission. He would have won tons of money. Or maybe say even Nikola Tesla. He gave away patents. He did not think of monetizing it. Lived for invention but not income. So type 4 if you got this also aligned over here. कि यार सिद्धार्थ ऐसे भी लोग होते हैं जो they are just indifferent about money in the bank. बस mission, मेरा purpose, मेरा mission, मेरा purpose. Okay. And before you actually go in the wrong track of maybe having your role models, that's fine, but maybe looking at some celebrities which you want to know कि यार ये कौन सा personality है, don't go in that particular trap. Do you agree that this exercise is for identifying whose identity? Come on guys, type the answer in the comment box. आपको किसकी identity find out करनी है कि ये person क्या identity, किसी और की कि किसकी? Mine, right? Me, type me in the comment. Yourself. So don't have any celebrities कि यार ये क्या identity है उसकी क्या identity है? What identity is that person? No. You are focusing right now only for your own self, for your own identity. Don't go in that particular trap. Okay. Let's go to the fifth one. The fifth one is something which I call as the don't prejudge right now. Siva Chandran ji, अभी तो मेरे 4 identity बाकी है. Don't prejudge right now also. Don't go on a fast track. This is not an exam for you. Understand the concept over here. The fifth one is what we call as the hippie or the monk. Hippie or the monk says, I want purity, man. पैसा क्या है? पैसा तो हाथ का मैल है यार. मीनिंगफुल सिंपल लाइफ जीते हैं. गिल्ट अराउंड वेल्थ, क्यों मैं पैसा रखूं यार? मेरे नाम पे मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए. रिजेक्ट्स मनी. इनर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट विद सक्सेस. क्या करूंगा ये पैसे का यार? कहां लेके जाऊंगा ये पैसे? And that's the kind of a identity they have got about money belief systems. I'll give you some examples over here where you'll understand this particular concept. Example is like this. So when you look about this, maybe this particular gentleman, his name is Ivan Chouinard. Ivan Chouinard is the founder of Patagonia and it's a apparel company. पूरी कंपनी $3 billion की कंपनी बेच दी. For what? For climate change. To fight climate change. बस यही मेरा मिशन. मनी ठीक है, फर्क नहीं पड़ता मुझे. मे बी टू अ certain extent even Azim Premji, well, billions of dollars, okay, donated billions, lives simply, deeply uncomfortable with ostentatious say. He also said one thing when he became the richest man in India or in the world, in India. He was asked, how do you feel? And he answered, you know what, I feel like a lion in the zoo. How many of you got this? That's what he answered. When he was asked, how do you feel being the richest man in India? When Wipro shares went to the next level, he said, I feel like a lion in the zoo. That's the kind of identity which he's got about money. So type 5, if you got this. Number 6. Number 6, we have got a kind of extreme paradox of personality. And this is where we have got a saver and splurger kind of a split. This type does not have a money plan. They are like chaotic. Strengths can save and enjoy both. But weakness क्या? They are inconsistent. कभी आज पैसे एकदम splurge करेंगे, कभी आज एक पैसा भी देंगे नहीं. So it's a swing pattern. It's like a yin yang thing, kind of a paradoxical kind of a thing. It's very difficult to judge this kind of a personality over here. And how many of you have seen sometimes even yourself also go with this way? कि कभी पैसे के बारे में you become very lenient, and sometimes you become very stingy. And that's the pattern. It's a swing pattern over here. So type 6, if you got this, the saver splurger identity. Okay. The 7th one over here, which we call as the gambler. Now, this is what we want to have. A gambler is bold, will take chances, will be bold, will be risk taking. But there are disadvantages of impulsive risk, thrill addiction, unstable decisions. So you got to be beware कि ये मुझे identity शायद से करनी है तो बहुत rarely करनी पड़ेगी. It's not that everything is bad about it. You will take chances in your life. I took that chance at the age of 40 and the rest is history. But you got to see कहाँ पे कभी कैसे chance लेना है आपको. I'll give you a classic example over here of Richard Branson. Sir Richard Branson over here. And how many of you associate risk with Richard Branson? I mean, really, that next level of risk taking and entrepreneurship with Richard Branson. Come on, guys, type yes in the comment box. Or for that matter, even Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. He had that particular knack of taking that bets in the stock markets, risking itself, and then going to the next level. So type 7, if you got this kind of identity also clear, okay, that's the 7th pattern over here, which is the gambler identity, right? And then we have got something, the last one, which is the warrior identity. Write this down. The identity of the warrior is हमेशा पैसे के बारे में बस चिंता कि यार क्या होगा कि नहीं होगा, हमेशा यार कैसे करूं यार, let me think whether Siddharth Shah is actually trustworthy or not, let me see, I'll wait, I will check, I will first see, I will try on my own, always worrying about money. Some advantage is there, alert, careful, कभी कभी scam से बच जाएंगे आप, you will not click wrong links etc because you're over cautious. But most of the time, you will not get the chance to take opportunities over there. You will lose out on that. You will not take decisions. Overthinking, critical analysis paralysis, procrastination. You cannot relax around money for sure. And this is the